students, and welcome to chemistry class. So in the previous class we were discussing the colligative properties. And we have discussed one colligative property, that is relative lowering of vapor pressure. So in this class we will be discussing about the second colligative property, that is elevation in boiling point. Okay. So what do you mean by elevation? Elevation is nothing but there is a rise, in boiling point, that you are going to discuss. So when do we see this elevation, or when do we encounter or see this kind of elevation in boiling point? Whenever a pure solvent, if you take a pure solvent and if you are adding solute particles, to form a solution. So these solute particles decreases the escaping tendency, decreases the escaping tendency of solvent molecules into vapor phase. So due to which the vapor pressure decreases, right? So you're going to see decrease in vapor pressure. Okay. So when the vapor pressure decreases, obviously boiling point increases. Boiling point of the solution increases. Okay. So the addition of solute particles, addition of solute into a pure solvent decreases the vapor pressure of the liquid, hence it will increase the boiling point of the solution. Okay, so this is nothing but the elevation in boiling point. Okay, so you can see that when you take the water in a beaker, okay, the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius, right? This is your water. Boiling point is 100 degree Celsius. That is, when the vapor pressure of the liquid, vapor pressure becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure. This is your atmospheric pressure. Okay, vapor pressure, I'll write Vp, vapor pressure of the solution. Just take vapor pressure of the water becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure, then the water will start to boil. Okay, so this is nothing but the boiling point of the liquid. Boiling point of water. Okay, say for example, if you have added some solute into this water, okay, so for example, you have added the solute into this water. Now, due to the addition of solute into this water, there is the decrease in the vapor pressure can be seen. Due to the addition of solute, the decrease in the vapor pressure why you see is because the escaping tendency of the solvent molecules into the vapor phase decreases. So, due to the decrease in the vapor pressure decreases. Hence, due to the decrease in the vapor pressure, hence the boiling point of the water, now we can say solution, boiling point of the solution increases. Okay. The atmospheric pressure is 1 atmosphere or 1.013 bar. Okay. So to match with this pressure, the vapor pressure due to the addition of solute particles, the vapor pressure has decreased. So it has to, the vapor pressure of the solution has to match with the atmospheric pressure. So you have to supply more amount of heat energy. So you have to boil more. So you have to increase the heat energy, then only the water will, the solution will start to boil. So this effect is nothing but the elevation in boiling point. It's called as elevation in boiling point. Okay, you can look at the graph now in the right side. Okay, so in the graph, it is a graph of vapor pressure versus temperature. Okay, so I have taken vapor pressure in the y-axis and temperature in the x-axis. Okay, okay, so I'll mark this first curve, that is solvent curve, as A to B. Similarly, the second curve C and D. Okay, so here mark these points. So there are two curves. So as you can see, the vapor pressure of the solvent increases with increase in temperature as shown in the curve AB. As the temperature increases, the vapor pressure also increases from as you move from left to right. Okay, as at the temperature, the vapor pressure of the solution is less than that of the solvent. Okay, you can see the vapor pressure of the solution curve is below the solvent curve. Okay, that I have explained. The curve of the solution lies below that solvent as shown in the figure like this. Okay, so the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the solvent and the solutions becomes equal, then the atmosphere, to that the atmospheric pressure are, that is the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the solvent becomes to the atmospheric pressure, then that the solvent will start to boil. That is represented as T naught B. Okay. So similarly, when this vapor pressure of the solution becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure, then the solution will start to boil. That is represented by TB. And right over here. First is T naught B and then TB. T naught B is nothing but the temperature at which pure solvent boil. Okay. TB is the temperature at which the solution boil. Okay, so that is the difference. So obviously you know that TB is greater than T naught B, right? TB should be greater than T naught B. Okay, because the temperature at which a pure solution, or sorry, the temperature at which a solution boils must be greater than the temperature at which a pure solvent boils. Okay. Yeah. Right. So the difference which is existing between the T naught B and TB, that is represented as delta TB. Delta TB is the difference. This difference is called as the elevation in boiling point. Okay. So this difference is called as elevation in boiling point. Elevation in boiling point. Okay. So that is TB minus T naught B. Okay. So TB minus T naught B is nothing but elevation in boiling point. Right. So you can see over here in the graph, delta TB is the difference between TB and T naught B. I'll show over here. You can see here. TB is nothing but delta TB is nothing but it is a difference between TB and T naught B. Okay, that is the elevation in boiling point, which you can see. Okay. Okay. We'll move further. So, if you want to express expression for the elevation in boiling point. So expression for elevation in boiling point mathematically, how to express. So the elevation in boiling point depends upon the concentration of the solute in a solution. Depends upon concentration of the solute which is present in the solution. Okay. Right. So it depends mainly upon the concentration of the solute in the solution. So the concentration is expressed in terms of molality. Molality we express, that is small letter m. Okay. So the formula for this is delta TB is directly proportional to m. That is, m is nothing but molality. That is, elevation in boiling point directly proportional to the molality of the solution. If you remove this proportionality sign, okay, you will get delta TB is equal to KB into M. This is the equation. Okay, so this equation you will get. So here, KB is a constant. So I'll write here delta TB is equal to KB into M. So delta TB, you know that elevation in boiling point. KB is nothing but elevation constant or ebuloscopic, EBULLIOSCOPIC, ebuloscopic constant. Okay, and M is nothing but molality. Okay, molality is nothing but number of moles of solute dissolved in 1000 gram of solvent. Number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 kg or 1000 gram of solvent. Okay, so that is the definition for molality. Okay, so the unit for kb, that is ebuloscopic constant, kb unit is Kelvin kg per mole is the unit. Okay, this is about the formula. Suppose if you want to find out the molecular mass of the solute which you have added into a pure solvent, okay, that is calculation of molecular mass, number of moles of the solute is N2, solvent is N1, right? N2, you know that is W2 divided by M2, and N1 is W1 divided by 1000. Okay, I will write 1000 divided by W1. Okay, so this we are going to take into this equation, that is delta TB is equal to AB into M. So we are going to substitute the value of M into this equation. Okay, so it becomes delta TB is equal to KB into W2 divided by M2 into 1000 divided by W1. So since we need to find out what is the molecular mass of the solute which you have added into a solvent, so we need M2. So we'll take M2. M2 is equal to 1000 into KB into W2 divided by delta TB into W1. So this is the final formula. Okay, so using this formula we can find out the molecular mass of the unknown solute. Okay, find out the molecular mass of unknown solute. Okay, that is the application of this equation. So you have to remember this equation, important to use in the solving the problems. So you need to remember this equation. Okay, so you know what is KB, right? KB is, I'll tell you, it is a elevation in boiling point constant or ebuloscopic constant. W2 is, know that, the weight of the solute. W1 is weight of the solvent. Delta TB is elevation in boiling point, and 1000 is a constant that is dissolved in 1 kg of the solvent. Okay, M2 is the molecular mass of the solute. Okay, so this is the equation. Okay, let's go further. The third type of colligative property is depression in freezing point. Okay, so depression in freezing point. What do you mean depression in freezing point? That is decrease in the freezing point. Decrease in temperature. Okay, decrease in temperature is nothing but the depression in freezing point. The freezing point of a substance is the temperature at which the solid and the liquid form of the substance are in equilibrium. So it is nothing but solid and the liquid form of the substance are in equilibrium. Okay, that is, the solid and the liquid form of the substance have the same vapor pressure. Have same vapor pressure. Okay, so it is observed that the freezing point of the solution is always lower. The freezing point of solution is always lower. Right, freezing point is lower compared to the solvent. compared to your solvent. Compared to your pure solvent, it is high. Okay, freezing point is higher for the solvent, but for the solution, the freezing point is lower. Why solution's freezing point is lower? Because the decrease in the vapor pressure. So we have discussed about the some of the factors which affects the vapor pressure, right? Temperature is one of the important factor. As the temperature increases, the vapor pressure also increases. As the temperature decreases, vapor pressure also decreases, right? So this is the one of the factor which basically leads to this kind of effect. Okay, so due to the decrease in temperature, the solution's vapor pressure, because it decreases the escaping tendency of the molecules, that is solvent molecules, that's why the vapor pressure of the solution is lower with a decrease in the temperature than the solvent's vapor pressure. Okay, so um, we have taken a plot of vapor pressure versus temperature over here in the right side. Okay, so have a look at the plot. So I'll mark this plot. So from A to B, it's one curve. From B to C, and this is nothing. That is, this is D, and this is E. Okay, right. So this is the plot of vapor pressure versus temperature. Okay. So as you can see over here, so the depression in the freezing point may be explained on the basis of the plots of vapor pressure versus temperature. So on cooling, the vapor pressure of the liquid solvent decreases along the curve A to B. Okay, you can see over here. On cooling from A to B, the vapor pressure of the liquid solvent, it decreases. Okay, the vapor pressure decreases. So at B, the solid starts to appear. At point B, the solid will start to appear, and the vapor pressure decreases along the path from B to C. Again, if you decrease the temperature, the vapor pressure also decreases instantly from B to C. Okay, from this path. Okay, so because why it decreases? Because of the solid solvent, solid have lowers the vapor pressure. Okay, at B, so at B, the liquid and the solid are present in the equilibrium. I told you, uh, when the liquid and the solid becomes equilibrium, when the liquid state and the solid state are in equilibrium, that is the freezing point. Okay, so at B, the liquid and the solid are in equilibrium and have the same vapor pressure. Okay, so thus B represents the freezing point of the pure solvent. Okay, you can see over here. So freezing point of pure solvent is taken as T naught F. Okay, as at any temperature, the vapor pressure of the solution is less than that of the solvent. You can see that the vapor pressure of the solution is obviously going to be lesser than the solvent. Okay, the vapor pressure of the solution is less than the solvent because, as you see in the curve of the solution lies below that of the solvent. On cooling, it will follow the path from D to E. Okay, from D, it goes all the way down to E. Okay, this path. So E represents the point, that is, it is the freezing point of the solution. So E represents the freezing point of solution, and it is represented as TF. Okay, and the difference between the T naught F and the TF is nothing but the depression in freezing point, that is represented as delta TF. Okay. Okay. So I'll write over here delta TF is nothing but your depression in freezing point. Delta TF is equal to T naught F minus TF. So what is T naught F? freezing point of solvent. Okay. TF is freezing point of solution. Okay. So delta TF is depression in freezing point or change in the freezing point. Okay. The depression in the freezing point depends upon the concentration of the solute in a solution and has been found to be related to molality M of the formula. That is, so depression in the freezing point is directly proportional to the molality. Okay. So if you know the proportionality constant, you'll get delta TF is equal to Kf into M. Okay. This is the formula. So the next slide. So delta TF is equal to Kf into M. Okay. So Kf is nothing but a constant which is called as molar depression constant, or you can say molar depression freezing point constant, or it is also called as cryoscopic constant. Cryoscopic constant. M is nothing but the molality. Know that we are expressing the concentration of the solution in terms of molality. Okay. Okay. Delta TF is nothing but depression in freezing point. It's called as difference, which is nothing but the depression in freezing point. Okay. So this is the equation. Okay. So if you want to calculate the molecular mass of the solute, here also you want to calculation of molecular mass of the solute which you have added into a pure solvent. Then how do you calculate? Say for example, you have W2 grams of the solute have been added containing M1, M2 gram, say for example, W2 grams of solute having molecular mass M2, which is present in W1 gram of solvent. Okay, it produces certain depression in freezing point. Okay, so you need to find out what is the molecular mass of your solute. If you want to find out what is the molecular mass of the solute which you have added, then you're going to derive a formula that is M molality is equal to W2 divided by M2 divided by W1 divided by 1000, right? Or we can also write it as thousand divided by W. So this we are going to substitute into this equation, that is delta TF is equal to Kf into M. Okay, so we're going to substitute value of M into this equation. Okay. So we'll get delta TF is equal to Kf into W2 into 1000 divided by M2 into W1. So since we are interested only in the M2, that is molecular mass of the solute, right? Molar mass of the solute we want to know. So we will rearrange this equation, that is M2 is equal to 1000 into Kf into W2 divided by delta Tf into W. Okay, this is the final equation. Okay, and important. So if you want to find out what is the molecular mass of the solute which you have added into a solvent, which decreases the freezing point of a solution, then you can go for this equation. Okay. So today we have discussed about two things, that is elevation in boiling point, the formula which we got. Okay. So you need to remember what is Kb. Okay. What is W2? W2 is nothing but weight of the solute. W1 is nothing but weight of the solvent. M2 is nothing but weight of the, that is molecular mass of the solute. Delta Tb is elevation in boiling point. Okay. So this thing we have learned, the formula, and depression in the freezing point we have learned. Okay. The example for depression in freezing point, the freezing mixture. Example. It is, okay, that is salt plus ice is the best example for depression in freezing point. Okay, so here also we got a different constant, that is Kf. Kf is nothing but it is the cryoscopic constant. Okay, so finally we got the equation, that is M2 is equal to 1000 into Kf into W2 divided by delta Tf into W1. So this equation we are using when we don't know the molecular mass of the solute. That time we use this equation to find out the molecular mass of the unknown solute. Okay, so we'll continue in the next class. Few topics are remaining. Okay, so thank you and see you in the next video.